In this video, we'll look at identifying the properties of a sine wave in radians. This is the exact same video as identifying the properties of a sine wave that I did in degrees, except the equation y equals 2 sine of 3 x minus pi over 4 plus 1 is now in radians with this pi over 4. Let's list the transformations in order. So I use this technique called the K badge. You don't have to write the KBAD, but it helps keep it in order. This is, whoa, that's not the K. The K comes first, but this is the A value. This is the K. This is the B. This is the D. Alright, so in order, look at this K. What does it tell you to do? Do the opposite of times 3, which is divide by 3. So we have a horizontal compression of 1 over 3. Do the opposite of times 3 was divide by 3, and it's on the x's, so it's horizontal. Since it's a third, it's a compression. Need 3 things with Bergman always. The type, compression, the direction, horizontal, and the number, 1/3. Now the B value. It says negative pi over 4. That means it's going to be shifting, because it's a plus or minus. But with x stuff, do the opposite. What's the opposite of take away? Add. So we go to the right by pi over 4. Again, the word by or of I don't care about too much. I care about 3 things. Type, it's a shift, direction, right, by pi over 4. Next is the A value. That's this 2, which is a vertical thing. It's on the y. Only the stuff in the brackets here is on the x, the k, the b. Now we're doing the a, that's a y thing. So it's a vertical, since it's multiplying, it's a vertical stretch by 2, or of 2. Again, this word's not as important. I've got type, stretch, and then direction, vertical, by 2. You could have written stretch vertically by 2, full marks. That's great. And finally, this D is adding 1, so that's a shift up 1. Could have used the word translate or move instead, but I see 3 things. Type, direction, number. Shift up 1. We've got our transformations done. A different type of questions will ask you to state the properties. Here, you don't have to do the K-BAT in order. So I just listed them, I think, in order of easiness to hardness, though they're not really any of them. Not really any of them are hard, but let's look at them all. The D is the 1. We've already seen this. D is 1. The A is 2. The B is negative pi over 4. And the K is 3. And yes, you should show your work like this, please. As in, please write down, these are my 4 letters. Sometimes I write letters here, then I write properties here. You don't have to, as long as you show your work like that. Sometimes I put arrows here too to show which corresponds to which. Again, you don't have to as long as it's clearly on the same line. So D equals 1. That tells you the axis of curve is y equals 1. Make sure to write the axis of curve as an equation. A equals 2. That gives you the amplitude. It's just a single digit. Amplitude is 2. The phase shift, needs a colon there, is the opposite of the B value. Again, I said it's like order of increasing difficulty, but all you have to do here is remember the phase shift is the opposite, just like it was opposite here in the transformations that we listed. So if it says negative pi over 4, you shifted pi over 4. And finally, the K equals 3. We use the same sort of period formula. Since it's a formula we're going to be solving for, there should probably be an equal sign for full marks. The formula is 360 over K if it's in degrees, but we're using radians. 360 is 2 pi, so your radians formula for period is 2 pi over K, which in this case is just 2 pi over 3. So if you look at the identifying the properties of a sine wave video in degrees, exact same answers because it's the exact same question. Only thing we did was expressed 45 degrees in radians, which is pi over 4. You get the exact same transformations in the correct order. Only, again, the B value is listed in radians. And again, you get the exact same properties, only the phase shift and the period is listed in radians. That's how to identify the properties of a sine wave in radians.